Good evening. We're going to call this meeting of the El Campo City Council to order. It is 6 p.m. on September the 8th. We have a quorum. Mayor Eugene Bustamante is absent. At this time, let's stand for a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. Honor and faith to the flag. Pledge allegiance to thee, one faith. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we gather here today to serve our community with wisdom and unity. Guide our hearts and minds as we make decisions for the common good. Grant us compassion, clarity, and courage to lead with integrity. Bless our city and its people. Amen.
Excellent, thank you.
Time now is 6:01, moving into public hearing on the fiscal year 2026 City of El Campo budget. Has anybody signed up to speak? At this time, we're going to close the public hearing as 6:01. It is 6:01. We're going to open a public hearing on utility rate increases as required by Section 13.05 of the city charter. Are there any speakers? It is still 6:01, and we're going to close this public hearing as well. Moving into public comments. At this time, any person with city-related business not scheduled on the agenda may speak to the City Council. In compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, the City Council is limited to making a statement of specific, factual information in response to the inquiry, or reciting existing policies, but may not discuss, deliberate, or take action on any item. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. The issue may be placed on a future agenda for consideration. Are there any speakers? Moving to the consent agenda.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we accept the consent agenda.
I second.
Motion has been made by Councilman Hodges and seconded by Councilman Koblenz to approve the City Council regular meeting on August 25th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Is there any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving into the consideration of an action on the first item is ordinance 2025-11.
Yeah. Just amending the fee schedule will work.
Okay. Ordinance 2025-11, amending the fee schedule.
The amendment to the fee schedule proposes updates to the following articles, and for the sake of transparency, I will read those articles this evening. Article A 3.000 EMS Department, amending by updating Section A 3.001 ambulance fees. Article A 4.000 construction-related fees, amended by updating Section A 4.001 building permits, plan review, and contractor registration. Article 5 health-related fees, amending by updating Section A 5.002 retail food establishment permit fee. Article A 8 business-related fees, amended by updating Section A 8.002 peddlers, solicitors, and internet vendors. A 9.000 parks and community facilities, amended by updating Section A 9.001 parks fees. By updating Section 9.002 Civic Center, Article A 10 utility rates and charges, amended by updating Section A 10.001 water rates, by updating Section A 10.002 sewer rates, A 10.003 utility service rates, A 10.01, and transportation user fees, Section A 10.01, as well as the solid waste fees. And the solid waste fees are part of your contract with the vendor, Texas Disposal System. So we are mandated to increase those. You had the hearings this evening. This evening you had one. You had one at the last meeting regarding the utility increases, and the rest are outlined inside your packet, beginning on page 17 through, and I apologize, it's so lengthy, but when you renumber one, you renumber all. Meaning if she makes a change, it pushes everything down, and so she's She's made every effort to disclose that on here to page 29. Um, As these are individual rates pertaining to individual departments, if you have questions on these, I may ask that that individual department head stand to the podium and answer those questions while speaking clearly into the mic so that our listeners can,
Thank you.
can hear what we have to say.
I do have a question.
Sure.
Who might,
What's your,
okay, so this would be for the utility services
okay.
fees?
You can both go to
And
the
it's,
podium.
it's really an observation more than it is a question, but I guess there is a question involved. And this has to do with the 4-inch sanitary service, sewer service. So up until now, the fee was $780 is what I'm seeing, and we're proposing to do 2,000, and that limits to 60 feet. Well, first of all, my comment is this is long overdue because that $780 didn't, but was there additional fees added to the 780 before, like a time and material in this instance?
Over the past few years, the volatility of the market, we really haven't changed it much. Thinking it would go up, go down, and looking back at the cost of materials, the amount of time, getting it back together, putting everything back in the right way, we found out that that is what it should have been. And you're right, it is long overdue.
And this was actually physically doing a 4-inch tap into the sanitary sewer and providing sanitary
Anywhere
service.
from 4 foot deep to 16 foot
Okay,
deep.
so a follow-up to that, this $2,000 limited to 60 feet. Which side of, where's the 60, on a person's property? Or is this something along the right-of-way to come to the,
Most right-of-ways are 60 to 66 foot. Most are 60.
okay,
If just so happens it is across the road to get it to the property line, that's 60 foot. However, there have been times when we had to go at an angle to go up to get to that,
gotcha.
and that ended up being in the hundreds of feet, and that was never addressed in the past.
Okay, so you mentioned across the street, so then the other fee of actually cutting the street would also come into play
Correct.
along with this here. That's clear, I appreciate it.
I have a question to Garrett probably.
Kevin, while you're up, I'll just ask you a quick question. Just looking over the same fees that Tom was referencing, I just ran a percentage increase, and it's not consistent. Some are increased by 87%, some are increased by 20%, some are increased by 40%. So the proposed, we did a line item by line item of going up exactly where
Correct.
we needed to instead of an adjustment overall.
Very much so.
And that was done across the board.
Just a quick deal on, your fees going up. I just want to know if Medicare will cover that or if it will be more on the elderly people.
So these are rates for commercial insurance, private pay. Those patients' Medicare rates are set. So even say if we bill $2,000, Medicare is only going to pay the $600. We have to write the other $1,400 off.
Okay, it won't go to the patient.
Correct.
That's the only question I had on that.
Thank you, sir.
Now I got a question on park fees and retail food establishment fees. Okay, I'm looking at park fees. They're going from $250 to $500.
Yes.
Right, okay. And it's $250 setup and marking fee. I want to know, does that $250 setup and marking fee, does that even cover the paint and the labor that we've got involved?
The 500, if you'll notice, there's also an increase in the paint fee as well. the
Okay.
Maintenance, because it did go up.
Right.
And once again, we really haven't made those adjustments in years.
Right.
We're looking back at the cost increase of the past few years, the volatility of paint. Not just that, but our time to go out there and do them. So
Right.
that's the reason we went up that.
So you think we can cover our expenses by doing
Yes,
this?
yes, very
Okay.
much.
And now the retail of food establishment permit fee. We're going up from $100 on businesses to $150, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and it's saying in order to be comparable to food trucks, why aren't we going up on food trucks?
Right now, you charge food trucks $150 for their annual permit, and they tend to have 1 to 5 employees. So we're actually overcharging food trucks and undercharging restaurants, and so we're making it a comparable baseline. So 1 to 5 employees at a restaurant would be $150, which is the same as the food trucks are currently. And then it goes up for each increment
Right.
of employees after that.
And what I'm looking at though is retail food establishments or brick and mortar, they're paying property taxes too. Food trucks don't pay property tax.
Right, but they do pay the sales tax on well
Well,
food.
so does the food stuff, so does brick and mortar, they all do. My deal is if we're gonna go up to the brick and mortar, I think we ought to go up to food trucks also.
Okay.
I mean, that's just my opinion. Because they're actually, they're competing with brick and mortar,
They can in some cases.
right? And they're not paying property taxes. That's just my opinion.
Good point. Any other questions?
Mayor Pro Tem, if you're looking for a motion,
I'll entertain one.
I'd like to motion that we approve ordinance 2025-11, amending Appendix A, City of El Campo fee schedule as presented.
We have a motion to accept the ordinance as presented by Councilman Koblenz. Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Second from Kyle. I have a question, if there's any discussion, I have another question. Kevin, I hate to make you do it again, and it is with regards to the park fees. I have two comments. One, where we're proposing to go to $500 per season, I think we need to define what season is.
It's 12 weeks.
12 weeks is what a season is.
12
Okay.
weeks is a season.
Is there and so then here's the disconnect. So we can rent the entire place for $500 for 12 weeks or for the entire day for the same price.
Correct.
Is there any, it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, when that first came apart, we noticed that when someone rented the entire park, they shut down the entire park for that day. To do Friendship Park, they have a summer league that they would do that, or they would do a tournament for a day. And most of those tournaments would shut down and create parking hazards all throughout. One of those was to make sure we had enough of that if we needed to, we could get enough people out there to direct traffic.
Okay. So then on the $500 per season, is it for the entire, that's for the entire park as well for 12 weeks on designated days? I mean, is this,
Normally, the seasons, depending on which it is, a softball league, it just those two fields. When it comes to the soccer league, same thing, it's just the fields in that area, even though parking is overloaded. But that's the reasoning for that.
okay. Well, and my last question, and this is just to understand how it internally happens. Is this a first come, first served basis? Is there any way that somebody shows up, says this is what we're going to do and here's our money? Is there a approval process in place? Do you decline requests?
We go through them and we do decline them if something else is set up in there.
Okay.
Because we have, a lot of times there are people that have the pavilions rented during that same time. We'll let them know that this is already rented. So it is a first come, first serve.
Thank you. Are there any other questions?
I just want to know if we can pull that amendment out on food trucks, or, because I'd vote no right now because of that.
You want to
I
request,
don't want to vote no on the rest of it.
or do you want to offer an
Another-
amendment to it?
Yeah,
You want to offer amend the motion?
Yeah. Or he can amend the motion.
It may be cleaner to pull it, perhaps,
yes.
and style it.
That way the whole council will have a,
I already have a
If you
motion.
do that, you're gonna have to have another hearing. I think the way the charter's written. What you can do.
Have another hearing.
It's not on the fee, you're right, right.
Amend the motion, you could pull it completely, or you could wait and change it at a later date when we bring the fee schedule back. Because what you're wanting to accomplish is to raise that fee higher, or to not do it at all.
If we're gonna raise one, I wanna raise the other also, to keep it fair.
If they amend it, you should be able to use that, finance.
Yeah, I mean, we can either approve it as is and then still bring that one back, or we can pull just that fee out.
Yeah, like Ronnie suggested.
Which one's easier? Okay, let's do that. We'll just vote on this, and we'll put it on the next agenda.
Good? Yeah, okay.
So do I need to get Councilman Koblenz to restate his motion?
No, I
No,
think
he-
your motion's fine. You're gonna approve it as is, but what you're saying is you'll come back with just that one fee?
Yeah.
Increase.
It's not even.
Amendment.
So it'll be a future, item on our agenda when it comes to bring it back. Is that correct?
So the motion stands that we're approving it as presented. Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the fee schedule as presented. Is there any further discussion? If no discussion, all those in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
The next agenda item is ordinance 2025-12, adopting and approving a budget and appropriating funds for fiscal year 2026.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we delay approving this budget until the council as a whole has had a chance to spend more time discussing various issues and how we might be able to save money and avoid a tax increase.
A motion has been made to postpone ordinance 2025-13. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Question? Do we have a
Wait,
time
a motion has
limit
been
on this?
made and seconded to postpone the vote. Is there any discussion?
Is there a time that we need to hit with this?
You've got to adopt the budget before the end of the month.
That's,
You're
okay.
mandated to do
That was my,
Case, I don't know why we delayed this kind of a discussion for so long through this process, but starting back in June. We had a finance committee meeting that was productive. We made a lot of suggestions. I haven't seen anything change in the budget. We have, I don't know if the whole council realizes that last year, we spent $40,000 demolishing old decrepit fallen down buildings. This year, we've reduced that to $5,000. I don't know if everybody's studied the line items in this budget to realize changes like that have taken place or not. But I don't think we have ever sat down as a group. Now, there was a meeting or two that I wasn't attending,
Yeah.
but I don't know if we've ever sat down and gone through this thing item by item and agreed that this is how we want to spend our money and that this is how we want to raise our money.
Yes, sir. We had multiple budget workshops beginning in June, where we spent a great deal of time putting presentations up there. And you're correct, we did meet with the Finance Committee and go through a productive meeting. And I addressed my response to that, to the entire council regarding concerns regarding staffing and potential ways to look at the budget. We have reduced the budget $232,000 in the general fund. Your tax increase is not a result of overspending. It's a direct result of your sales tax decreasing. There's no additional staffing. There are no raises in this budget. In fact, we will be doing a plan redesign on our health insurance, which will adversely affect our employees at the next meeting. I do appreciate that you want to go through the budget, and we can absolutely bring this back to the next meeting and go through this budget. We will need time to do that because you will be required to make a decision at that next meeting. You have to adopt your budget. It's not only by your charter, but it's state law that you get this thing adopted before the end of the month. So we need to make sure you have adequate time to review this at the next meeting. I would suggest a workshop so we can go line by line if that's the prerogative of the council. And so that you're comfortable making that decision to approve the budget. Another option, less popular maybe, is that you adopt the budget now and you amend it. This is exactly what you did last year. You adopted the budget, so you at least had it on the books, but you didn't have the tax rate to support it, so you went back and amended it later. You could do that if you felt like we couldn't get there in the next meeting, but if you're comfortable going next meeting and you think that we can answer your questions in the interim, I would ask that you send all your questions to us so that we have a presentation that addresses your concerns and your questions, so that we're not spinning our wheels over here, not addressing the needs of the council.
One of the things,
My question, that having a meeting to clarify, to understand, to have insight and all that can't happen the same day in a workshop just before our city council meeting, because then,
In theory, that would be a challenge, because we wouldn't be able to necessarily revise the ordinance that adopts your budget and on the fly like that. A special
Show
call.
me.
Yes, sir.
my thoughts about this is, and what we talked about in the finance committee meeting is, there are a lot of things that the city just pays for because other people in the county don't want to pay for them.
The value.
I mean, for instance, if you look at the number of voters we have in the city and the amount of the county's budget that we provide, and we look at the fact that the county provides us with nothing other than maybe constables and sheriff's assistants at times, there's no reason why the county couldn't be taking over part of our parks function, for instance, where from all over the county utilize our parks. There's no reason why we spend $500,000 a year on the good ladies that man the telephones at the Emergency Services District. A whole lot of that is not just police department stuff, it's countywide stuff. When somebody's calling for an ambulance, that's who answers the phone. When somebody's calling for a fire department, that's who answers the phone. There's no reason why the Emergency Services District shouldn't be picking up their percentage, probably more than half, or $250,000 a year, for that communications expense. And what I hear is, we don't try to charge that to them because they don't want to. Now, okay. But it seems that way. But it just seems to me like there's a lot of money out there countywide that could be paying for the services that the city pays for. And we could save a lot of money and avoid a tax increase and have money left over to fund things that we really think are important for the city, like maintaining our streets, things of that nature. I think we ought to talk about some of those things. And I'm not sure why we have decided to cut out virtually all the money for demolishing fallen down buildings.
The reason we did that is we aren't spending it because the owners are doing it themselves. They're paying for it, which is the
There's still
optimal goal.
probably plenty we can do with that $35,000 we're taking out of there, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I think the council ought to talk about it.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's your budget, council. It's your decision on how we appropriate these funds. I certainly am not, I'm not gonna act unilaterally on making decisions that I don't have the power to do. It should be noted by your charter that you would be in compliance with the public hearing notice. It was required at least 7 days before the hearing. I'm just making sure that your adoption, we won't have to republish that adoption. Again, your charter says no later than September 30th. So you'll need to make sure that you get this adopted. I think you're gonna be okay. I do not think you'll have to rerun a notice. It looks like we would be able to do this. One thing worth noting is if we did do a special call meeting because of the new notice posting requirement, you'll have to publish, let's say we did this next week, we'll have to publish by tomorrow. So that's a little different than in the past when we had 72 hours notice. And so that may make this a little more challenging as far as scheduling goes, if the council chooses to. Yeah, that's the,
Just to talk about all,
Monday?
throw out everybody's ideas about how this town can save some money.
what time? Okay.
At least 3 days, 3 business days prior to the meeting.
Yeah, the earliest you could meet is next Monday or Tuesday. Would prefer not to meet on a Tuesday. That's a personal preference in the evenings, as I am an instructor at a college on Tuesday evenings, but we'll make it work.
Can we do it at 7 o'clock Monday? If everybody agrees? If they're gonna do 5:30 and it's gonna last an hour,
We can have them out of here by then.
and that's the reason I seconded it, because I thought that he needed a chance to say what's on his mind.
Understand, and
I just wanted.
I think we ought to give him the opportunity to do
Yeah.
that. Mr. Hancock and Mr. Hodges, not opposed to it at all. I just want to make sure that we do it lawfully.
Okay, Mr. Hancock, I'm going to reread your motion, make sure it's correct, but there's a,
Go ahead and reread it. Probably gonna need to amend his motion to cover resetting the special call meeting and then pushing it off to the next date. You know, when you wanna, table this to. Specific council meeting date.
so there's been a motion made to postpone this vote until the next regular scheduled council meeting?
Well, that's not exactly what the motion's in. Maybe we can get some amendments on it.
Okay, Mr. Hancock, you want to restate your motion?
My motion was to postpone the approval of the 2026 budget until the council has had a little more time to discuss the various aspects of the budget.
Could we get you to add in your motion the specific council date, which is, what is
Perhaps
it,
the
September
22nd?
what?
So are we postponing, like, the actual deciding on the approving the budget? We're deciding that at the next regular meeting, but we're meeting for a special meeting to function as a workshop, correct? So I think that would be correct if we move it to
Yeah.
the next regular city council meeting, which is September 22nd.
Second.
So we'll meet in the interim for a budget, more or less a budget workshop?
Yes.
No decision.
That would be correct, yes. It would just direct staff as to how to re-prepare that ordinance if necessary to amend it. Or rewrite it, rather. Yeah, let's go with rewrite.
Call the special call meeting for next Monday, at 7:00,
When would I do that?
Right now,
after this
after
motion.
this motion is passed.
Okay. So a motion has been made and seconded to postpone the vote for the 2026 budget to the next scheduled meeting on September 22nd. Is there any further discussion? At this time,
Do
all
you need
those,
a second,
no, sir, it's been seconded.
sir?
All those in favor, say aye, or raise your hand. All opposed? Motion carries 5-1. We will be having a special called meeting to discuss this budget in 1 week on September the 15th at,
It'd be a workshop.
sorry, a workshop to discuss the budget on September 15th at 7 PM.
So, may I ask you a question after this? I mean, I had nothing about making a decision. You're asking us, or anyone who has questions specifically about it, to please get it
Yes.
to you by a certain time so that you can address those.
We'll go line by line, but it'd sure be nice for us to be able to address your concern
Sure.
in the presentation rather than spinning our wheels. Maybe. Yeah, it's likely. Yeah.
So ordinance 2025-13, is that relevant?
I mean, again, this is at the council's prerogative. You could absolutely adopt the tax rate, but typically, I think truth in taxation requires the adoption of a budget prior to the adoption of the tax rate. So this will also need to be postponed to the 22nd.
Does that require a motion?
Yes.
Is anybody willing to entertain that motion to postpone?
Mayor Protem, I make a motion that we postpone the ordinance 2025-13
Until,
until,
September 26th.
September 22nd.
motion has been made to postpone ordinance 2025-13 until September 22nd, 2025. Is there a second?
Second,
Second's been made by Councilman Hancock. Is there any discussion?
do we need a time to say the time?
No, sir, this would be a regular called meeting.
Okay.
If no discussion, we'll take a vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Passes unanimously. Resolution 2025-44, authorizing a renewal of property and liability insurance coverages through Texas Municipal Intergovernmental Risk Pool for the fiscal year 2026, and authorizing the city manager or designee to execute all related documents.
Yeah, this is This is our insurance on general liability and casualty insurance with TML IRP as mentioned. The amount is $287,847 to insure the city. That is a large amount for insurance, but unfortunately, that is what it costs to insure the city's property. It's an 8% increase from 2025. Should be noted that we've been with TML IRP for dozens of years. They offer us a great service. 98% of Texas cities make up the membership with the pool. So to go shop privately isn't in our best interest as in regards to liability and property insurance. Because it's over the $100,000 threshold, council is required for approval for this particular contract and resolution.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve resolution R 2025-44.
Motion has been made to approve Resolution R 2025-44 as presented. Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Second has been made. Is there any discussion?
Just a comment, I mean, it is just the way it is, but
Yeah.
from what I read through all of this here, this is where we need to go, and I feel comfortable with that. I'm just making a comment.
Thank you.
I'll echo it. I don't know if anybody's seen insurance renewals, especially commercial insurance renewals, and it's
I guess
just
we're paying the same rate that all the rest of the municipalities in the state are paying.
maddening.
I'll argue with that.
Any further discussion? If no discussion, let's take a vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, ordinance passes unanimously. Thank you. Resolution R 2025-45, authorizing the purchase of 5 Hamilton T1 ventilators with accessories and a 5-year extended service plan from Hamilton Medical, and authorizing the city manager to execute all related documents.
Good evening. Today I'm asking you to approve the purchase of 5 ventilators. Our current 5 ventilators, while they're not outdated or anything, technology is constantly advancing. The proposed ventilators are a lot smarter. They can adapt better to the patient. It's literally push a button and it'll read all the compliance with the patient's lungs and make it the best breath to that patient compared to our current ones where we have to set a tidal volume, like how much air you're going to get, and then pressures and all this other crazy stuff. There's a lot more buttons on our current ones that can be messed with. So these newer ones make it a lot easier and a lot better for the patient. And again, with trying to use some of our excess revenue that we have from billing revenue this year, taking advantage of that to replace all our capital equipment, well, not all, but most of our capital equipment while we can, with these excess funds to save taxpayers down the line. The reason it has to come to you is because with the 5-year service plan added to it, it does put it at the 135,500. We'll be just paying the 82,500 this year, and then 10,600 annually for the service plan, and locking in that 5 years secures, I believe it's a 20% discount on that service plan.
Can we sell the ones we have?
Unfortunately, it's going to be difficult because our current ones have a monopoly on theirs, and if you sell it to a resale shop, they won't no longer work on them, and they're the only people that can work on them. So our best bet is going to be try to sell them to another EMS service, and we can transfer our plan. So I am going to attempt that, and we'll see what we get.
Could we donate them?
We could.
Maybe
Yeah,
send them south or something.
the most-
Somebody really has to have
The biggest
something
offer I've gotten so
taken
far is
care of. Yeah,
$500.
precisely.
To me, the $500 isn't worth it. We'd rather, like you said, rather don't sell it to another service.
Reselling them is the best option.
Okay.
Garrett, I have a question. How old are the ones we were replacing?
And I'm going to say we bought the last ones with COVID money, so that would have been 2020, and that would have been 2 or 3 of them. We've had a couple of first 2 years before that, so I want to say anywhere from 5 to 7 years.
The only reason I ask is if there's if we're not keeping them that long, then maybe that warranty or service contract may not be worth it because it's pretty hefty. But if we're getting that long out of them, then it covers as long as we're taking them.
Yes, and this does cover accidental damage as well. And I'm told if you have to replace a screen, it's about $3,000. So hopefully it'll cover if any of that happens.
Garrett, do you also have it on the list, so to speak, in your asset plan to put it in a future another round of these 7 years from now or 8 years from now, whatever it ends up being?
We've
Because it's
We-
probably gonna happen again.
We've been unique in EMS in that we take advantage of excess funds to buy a lot of our capital equipment. So yes, I will definitely put it on a plan. But a lot of times, same thing with trucks. It depends on if something breaks or things like that. But yes, definitely put it on a
At
plan.
least
Yes.
earmark some funds for, I'll call it equipment, for that period of time. Doesn't have to be for this, maybe something else.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
enough.
Will do. Yes, sir.
I'm of the belief that seconds save lives. And if you can save time and evaluate a patient faster, I'm all for it.
Definitely. And this rep, I mean, you push it, say if you want to put it on a cardiac arrest patient, you attach it, push a button, it does everything for you.
This is the kind of equipment you're hauling in with all that stuff when you take your stretcher into a house to pick somebody up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So would it be safe to say that this could probably avoid human error more? Is that what we're talking
Yes,
about?
sir. Definitely.
I think if I'm in that situation, I would appreciate that.
Me too.
Mayor, I make a motion, we approve resolution 2025-45.
A motion has been made to approve resolution 2025-45 as presented. Is there a
Second that motion.
Councilman Colas has seconded that motion. Is there any further discussion? If there's no further discussion, we'll take a vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, motion passes unanimously.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.
Item number 6, City Development Corporation funding of $228,594.45 for sanitary sewer infrastructure improvements on North Mechanic and Washington Street.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council. This is one of the opportunities that the CDC has to partner with the city for commercial infrastructure. And we looked at a couple of projects. This one really fit the bill with all the businesses that it affected. And the board unanimously voted to cover 100% of the cost. Since it's over $25,000, we need your approval of the funding.
And if,
Thank you to your board, and can you do more?
What are you gonna do for us tomorrow?
Yes, they have definitely expressed an interest in partnering with the city on any kind of commercial infrastructure project.
We appreciate it.
you may remember that you approved this project on July 14th. At the time, we had hoped to use remaining bond funds to support this project, but if the CDC picks up this project that is a commercial-driven project, commercial line, rather, that would free up those funds to allow us to get further down that CIP list that we presented to you in June.
We're going to whittle away at it.
We are. We're getting there.
Where does North Mechanic hit Washington Street?
It doesn't. Kevin, do you want to, or Carolyn, you can tell him, explain how
It
that.
doesn't.
It doesn't? Okay, I was trying
No,
to
that's
visualize that.
That's the term.
That's the descriptive term
That's
that
provided.
the engineer used for the project.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Simply
I was just trying
put.
to
Yes, correct.
visualize.
But
It's
an
North
area-
Mechanic and Washington Street. I shouldn't say on. I apologize.
Gaddy's area.
Mr. Gaddy's, Dollar Tree, Father and Sons, all of those businesses, the daycare,
about it
the
now.
dentist's office, there's a bunch of them along there. And a lot of our retail food service
I
places.
do remember that description now.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion has been made to approve the City Development Corporation's funding of $228,594.45. Is there a second?
Second.
Second has also been made. Is there any further discussion? No further discussion, we'll take a vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, motion passes.
It's been a pleasure working with you. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
The time now is 6:39. We're going to go into closed executive session.
He's a crowd. They're loyal.
Time is 7:05. We're coming out of executive session with no action taken. At this time, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.